Welcome to IDA's video channel. In this video, I'll show you how to use COGO points for the services. Sometimes you have no information about the services, but you get, let's say, coordinates for the services and the depth. And in this case, the only option is to use the COGO points. Or you might get a file, XYZ file for the services. And in this case, you can also use a COGO point. COGO points mean coordinated geometry points. Those are the points. They're a little bit smarter than the normal AutoCAD points, you will see that. And other option, if you want to use a ribbon, you can go to ribbon home, points, and here are the tools for the COGO points. I will use the very first option, point creation tools. If you want to use a menu, you go to create points. And then you go to point creation, and here you can specify some details. For example, prompt for elevation, keep it automatic. Prompt for names, none. Prompt for description, automatic. Default elevation 0 if there's no elevation, and default description I will use a guess because I want to use it for the guess pipeline. And when it comes to name, COGO points have 3 identifiers: name, description, and the point number. Name and number must be unique per each and every point, but the description can be the same for multiple points. When it comes to point identity, you can either start numbering from 1, or let's say you can say all the guess pipelines must start at a number 100, for example, or 500, whatever you prefer. If you want to know more about the COGO points, more details than what I show here, you can use IDA's help file for some details. But I will run through the exercise and then I will show you where you can find more details in IDA's help file. When it comes to point creation, there are a few options. In this case, it makes sense to create points on a surface, random points. And if I want to use that option, I can just specify, let's say, if I know that a COGO point should be positioned here, this is where the service crossing is, I can just click there and that's it. And because I used COGO point on a surface, so it positioned the point on a surface. There might be an option that they will give you the chainage for your alignment, so you can create points at a station and offset. So I will select the alignment. You can also specify the vertical alignment, which will be used for the surface elevation. Then I click OK. And then I can specify station, let's say 90, enter, and the offset 0, enter. So it creates a COGO point at the chainage 90 and the offset 0. I will escape. Let me close this toolbar. I want to show you other options. If I go to points, there is an import, export points, import points. So you can import points from the CSV file, for example, if you get them, let's say, from the surveyor. If you want to use ribbon, you must go to ribbon insert and then points from file. So that's another option. So I have a COGO points and both of them are on a surface. Let me project them to profile view. So go and select profile view and then go to project objects to profile view, go to plan and select those 2 COGO points and hit enter. It will open a dialog where you can specify the point style. You can specify whether you want to use an object elevation, and then you can specify the label. I will use a label that displays point description and chainage in meters. OK. And then I click OK. If I zoom to profile view, the COGO points will be displayed here exactly on the NGL surface. It's a guess and a chainage. And let's say the guess pipeline has a cover 0.7. So I will specify, or actually it can be cover plus, let's say, the pipe diameter. So let's say you want to use a 75 or 80 millimeters. So let me do that. I'm going to plan. I need to lower those COGO points. So I'm going to IDAS. And then I go to points and I use a raise lower points. I will select those 2 points. I hit enter. Let me do that again. It didn't take them. Let me do it again. Enter. Now there's an option to specify the value to raise or lower those points, or I can set the elevation. I want to use a value minus 0.8 and then I hit enter. It seems like nothing happens here, but if I zoom to profile view, you can see that those points were moved down. And let me go back to plan. I will show you a little bit more about the COGO points. I go to prospector, point groups, and all points group contains all the points. If I want to create a new group, I can right click on point groups, click on group. I can call it guess. Then I can specify the style. Let's say I want to display cross and I want to display description and let's say XYZ or description only. There are various options here. Then I need to specify which points I want to include. I can either specify, let's say, numbers matching specific number or raw description matching. I will use a guess. That's what I used. And as soon as I click on apply, I can go to point list and it shows me the points that belong to this group. And I can click OK. And as you can see, the guess appears here. So I have those points displayed in the profile view. If you want to turn off COGO points projected to profile view, you can go to profile view properties. And under the projections, the COGO points appear here. Now, you would automatically go to tick them off, but if you tick them off, you remove them from the profile views. Unfortunately, Autodesk didn't implement it properly because there should be an option to draw the objects or not to draw the objects, like it is under the profiles where you can tick the profile on and off. Unfortunately, that doesn't work with the projections. So if you want to keep them in a profile view, but you don't want to display them temporarily, the only option is to change the style. So I use set all command where I can change the style to no display. And I will do the same for the labels. I will set the labels to none. And if I click OK, those two COGO points disappeared. But if I go back to profile view properties, projections, I can set the style back to any style I wish to use. Let's say I want to use a point style cross. And then under the labels, I can choose any labels, point description, change in meters, OK, and then I click OK, and those points reappear in a profile view again. Let me show you the other option. What happens if I go to profile view properties and if I tick them off, I click OK, and if I go back to profile view properties, they're gone. So I need to reproject them to profile view. They're still in plan. If I zoom to plan, you will see they're still there. Here we go, but they are not in the profile view. And finally, if you want to delete points, you can, for example, come to the all point group. You can select the points here, right click, and you can delete them from here. So they will be removed. If you want to delete the group, you can also delete the group. Does it offer delete points? You can delete points which are part of the group. And once you delete the points, you can delete the group. So those are the options to delete the points. I also mentioned that if you want more details about the COGO points, you can go to IDA's help file. So you can either go to IDA's ribbon help, or if you prefer PDF, you go to resources, support folder. That opens the folder with all the support files. Go to help. You can choose any of those files, whether you prefer the dark theme or light theme. Let me open the default one, which is a dark theme. Let me drag it over. And then if you want to know more about the COGO points, you can go to Civil 3D Essentials, and then you can go to COGO points. And here are some information about the COGO points. If you prefer video, as you know, we have, let me open the website. You know, we have the training videos. So I go to devotechgroup.com. It automatically jumped to IDA support file, but I go to education, then I go to online courses, and I go to Civil 3D Essentials course. And if I scroll down, there are videos about the COGO points. But as I already mentioned, this is a paid course. But if you prefer videos, this is one of the options where to find the videos about the COGO points.